If we need any double reassurance about power, and his middle name's Thor.
Yeah.
That is literally a name of the god, isn't it? I hope when he celebrates, he does something to resemble that Thor name, like a really powerful celebration.
Somebody said on social media, do we need to practice the thunderclap? Do you know the Iceland team where they start slowly and they get build up? I said that'd be quite good, particularly with the atmosphere inside the ground. It'd be good if we do that as well. But
and a Blues fan, had already got onto the Wikipedia pages and changed his profile to the god of Birmingham.
So welcome back to Smallith Alliance FC, and today we got another really exciting podcast for you because Birmingham City have signed another player, and this one was a real surprise. Not a lot of publicity about this one. You normally get hints in social media or through the press, but there wasn't much about this player, and today Birmingham City have signed Willum Willumsson. I hope I said that correctly, Icelandic midfielder. So, Matt, what do you think about this signing? I mean, it's just came completely out of the blue, really, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, what a coup it looks like. I mean, Southampton, now a Premier League squad, look like they were interested. I think a few Championship teams were interested, sorry. And for me, it was really similar to the Chris Davis appointment. I'd never heard of Chris Davis or Williamson, really, until about 24 hours ago. And then I was absolutely borderline obsessed, thinking we have to get these people. They're absolutely perfect. So, it looks like a really good transfer. I think it fits in that number 10 role perfectly. And I think we've absolutely bagged ourselves a great signing.
I think this is a real top signing. This is. I mean, to get this player in League One, it really shows intent from the owners, from the club. I'm staggered. I mean, we've talked in the previous podcast, Matt, about the gaps that we've got in the squad and what we need. You said in the last podcast we did, we need height. He's 1.94 metres, which is about 6'3". He's a tall player, which we need that height, don't we? For all sorts of reasons, for set pieces, for corners, defending, everything you need height for in there. And 25 years old as well.
Yeah, I mean, especially having height in the attacking part of the pitch, because when you think about, your centre halves, your defensive mids, they're always generally quite tall and physical. But to have a number 10 who's 6'3" and physical, it's not rare, but it's definitely something that's going to really take us a long way in League One, because we bang that drum endlessly, Dad, don't we? It's a different division in League One. It's very physical, and he will fit right in. And I can't wait to see that link-up play between him and Alfie May. If we give them two a little bit of free roam, honestly, we could see bags of goals going in this season.
Yeah, I mean, in his previous clubs, and I'll give you some stats in a minute, he's played primarily as an attacking midfielder, and we've highlighted that as an area we needed to get some physical presence as well, and it looks like he'll give us that as well. Interestingly as well, he's left-footed.
Yeah.
So again, we've seemed to have almost like prioritised left-footed players, which is good because they're a lot rarer, I suppose, than right-footed players. So that's going to give us again that further balance on the left-hand side of the field.
Yeah.
Icelandic international as well. He's played for the Iceland full squad on 9 occasions as well. So definitely somebody who's going to, I think, give the other League One opposition something different to think about that we haven't had before. You've said many times, Matt, before, and I've agreed with you about the lack of physical presence in the team and how that's really hurt us last year in Championship. I hope we get a few more players of this type of physical stature to back this up, but this is a good one for me.
Yeah, definitely. If we need any double reassurance about power, and his middle name's Thor. I mean, that is literally a name of the god, isn't it? I hope when he celebrates, he does something to resemble that Thor name, like a really powerful celebration.
Somebody said on social media, do we need to practice the thunderclap? Do you know the Iceland team where they start slowly and they get build up? I said that'd be quite good, particularly with the atmosphere inside the ground. It'd be good if we do that as well. But,
and a Blues fan, had already got onto the Wikipedia pages and changed his profile to the god of Birmingham on his personal Wikipedia page. That really made me laugh as well. But no, seriously, I think this is a real coup, and it's a bit like when we signed Cochrane. People were saying that he's a band above League One. He's possibly a better player than what League One resembles.
Yeah.
And I'm getting the similar vibe here. This guy could have played in a high-level Championship, if not from the Southampton rumours, Premier League. So the fact he's been willing to join us and come down to League One speaks volume. And what you said at the start of the video is really important, Dad. This is a transfer of intent.
Yeah.
We're sending a message to the rest of the league and even the Championship to some extent, that when we do come back, we're not messing around. And the board said a Championship ready squad for not for next season, but for when we do go back up. And signings like this prove that they're putting their money where their mouth is, doesn't it?
I think it also shows that the owners are backing up what they said they were going to do as well. They said, I told Magna at the open house said that they were all in, and they proved that they are.
Yeah.
Just a few stats on him, actually, because I think
Please
a
do.
lot of Blues fans won't know anything about him. I had to do quite a bit of research on him when I found out that we were interested in him. So, listen to this, some very interesting stats here. We bought him from Go Ahead Eagles, which are a team in the Eredivisie of the top division of the Dutch league.
Yeah.
He's played 58 games for them. As attacking midfielder, scored 15 goals and 5 assists.
It's good for an attacking mid.
Yeah, it is as well.
Yeah.
And most of his games have been as attacking mid. He's on his various teams. So he's played for a team called Bate Borisov, which is before the Go Ahead Eagles, which is a Russian team. Played 79 games for them, 14 goals and 5 assists. Go Ahead Eagles, 62 goals for Go Ahead Eagles in total. 15 goals, 6 assists. And then there's other clubs, one called Bredelek, which is, I presume it's one of his earlier Icelandic teams, 43 games, 7 goals, 4 assists. So as an attacking midfielder, he's actually scored goals and assists in every team he's played in.
Yeah, and I'd implore all Blues fans to go have a look. If you put his name into YouTube, there's a video of his goals from last season, which I've watched it a couple of times now. And in fact, the Blues fans are already in the comment section going, "Welcome to Blues, welcome to Blues." It's quite funny.
Yeah.
So I definitely watched that. Some really good goals in there. Some quite cheeky goals. From tight angles. You shouldn't really shoot from there, and he's pinged it in. He scored with his head. And for me, I just love, and I'm coming back to that point, when he scores his goals, he shoots with power. He's got a real rocket on him. He's strong. He's aggressive. He's very physical. And as I said, we're crying out for that. And I did a bit of research as well, Dad. And this is coming from the fans of the club that we've just signed him from. And they've specifically said a couple of his best attributes, if you don't mind for a minute.
Yeah.
So his best attributes are short passing, dribbling, stamina, strength, vision, and decision making.
That's a lot of good attributes.
A lot of good attributes, but they're perfect for an attacking centre mid, aren't they? Absolutely perfect. And again, a couple of fans have described him. And don't get this is pie in the sky stuff. Don't get too carried away. But his style of dribbling, the way they've compared him to Alexander Isaac from Newcastle. Short touches, boom, power, dynamic.
Yeah.
And they've described the speed and not the speed because Isaac is on a rocket. I don't think this guy is as quick as him, but the way he dribbles the ball is similar to Alexander Isaac. And I thought that was quite an impressive comparison to get excited about.
That it is, and all those attributes you just mentioned, you can imagine that in our midfield or attacking midfield is absolutely going to be fantastic, isn't it? Backing up, and when you add this signing now, and I think this really is a statement signing. But I've been so impressed with the other players we brought in as well. Mm-hmm. But this one seems to be, it's almost like another layer on the cake, so to speak. It's something that I didn't expect. We did say as well in previous podcasts, and you would have heard this, Blues fans who watched our channel on a regular basis, that we said that we think that even in League One we would bring in some surprise signings, and I think that box has been ticked big time. But Alfie Moe is a big surprise.
Yeah. Emma
Hansen was a big surprise. Yeah. Even all of them really. Ryan Allsop, Bailey Peacock-Farrell. And obviously now this player as well. It's all really good quality players that you would not expect to get in League One. Which again backs up what the owners said, that they wanted to create a championship-ready team in League One. And it's all right them saying that, but actually actually getting the players is the difficult bit, isn't it? Convincing them to come down to League One. And as we know, Matt, we've been targeted other players that we haven't got. Mm-hmm. Because I presume they just don't want to come down to League One. So it's not easy.
Absolutely.
It's a big shackle around you, when you're trying to sort of convince players to come down to League One, if they're players that want to play at a high level. Mm-hmm. I think the club have done amazingly well.
I think there's two big differences from us getting relegated this year. One, we have fantastic owners, so they are willing to spend the money. They don't want us hanging around in League One quickly. And two, we have the infrastructure and the project and the future vision to sell that on players. So fair enough, there might be hopefully one season of League One football this year. But if we can sell the promised League One Championship and keep building on beyond, because we were hovering from about 2011 to 2024, literally until relegation, we were always hovering below the bottom half of the table. We were always just surviving the drop off the back end of those seasons. Yeah. Whereas now, when we go back to the Championship, we will be in such a better position. I mean, if we can do the Ipswich model, great. I mean, who wouldn't love back-to-back promotions? And I think we are getting there, especially with the calibre of players that we're signing. But I think we're selling the vision to players, hence why Williamson, Hansen, even Peacock-Farrell and Allsop have came down to League One, because they know this is a project, and they know that we're going to be playing I think Premier League football within the next 5 years. I really do.
I think it's an attractive option. If I'm a player and then you go around and look at what Knighthead, our owners, have already done to the training facilities in Henley and Arden. Obviously, they've done work to Wast Hills as well, to the previous training ground. And you look at the facilities, and a lot of the players comment on that when they have their interviews. What did you like about the club? And they talk about the facilities and the infrastructure. And that's all obviously sold to them in order to get the signature, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that means that players want to come and use and play in those environments.
Yeah.
And that's only because Knighthead have created that. I remember when Troy Deeney did an interview when he was with us. I think it might have been not long after he left us, saying that at the time the players had to have a whip round to go and get a bag of balls. That's how short money was. And suddenly,
Harley. I saw a podcast with Harley Dean recently, and he was saying there was one hot shower for all the professional men's team at one point. He goes, they were genuinely worried there would be
cramped, isn't it?
There were like food wasn't available as freely as it should be for professional footballers and stuff. So it really was bad. And I just want to give people an insight. I'm fortunate enough to have been to the Knighthead training facility. It is so professional. The grass and the pitches are cutting edge. Everything is highly meticulously planned and professional. But yet Blues have still managed to maintain this really family feel around the place. Everyone's talking to each other.
Yeah.
When I was there, I was doing some photos for Miyoshi, and all the players were saying, "Hi, why are you here? How are you?" It was such a welcoming environment that they've done a really good job at the training ground. And everything we have there is state of the art. The gym, the weight room, and everything in there is absolutely fantastic. So I have no doubt if you're a player and you go to the training ground, you'd be sold off the back of just what we have there. I really believe that. It really is a wonderful experience when you go there. So I have no doubt that would have had an impact. You know, the fact that we've got the pulling power of wages and transfer budget, and the fact that we've sold the vision that we are a club on the rise again, hopefully, and we will be playing,
and I think
rise in the domestic
that's what's
leagues.
attractive in these types of players. You know, this Willum Willumsson, he to me looks like a player that could easily play at a higher level, easily. But he's decided to come to us. I don't know who it was, but I commented on one of the comments on one of our previous podcasts, and I can't remember the context of the question, but I remember my response was that these owners, they were saying, "I'm really looking forward to the season, and it's all looking really, really good." And my response related to the fact that the owners, our owners, in 12 months, that's how long they've been here, I've literally turned the club upside down. Literally turned. I mean, that's from inside out. That's not just focusing on one thing. You're talking about everything across the club: the infrastructure, the training facilities, even now the playing staff. You know, all this has been changed. Everything is designed to be the best it possibly can be. And remember, they're spending money, all this money, on facilities that are not going to be there in a few years once the wheel site starts to be developed and the new stadium arises. I'm just so proud of my club, so proud of my owners, and I'm really happy for the fans, because we are long-suffering fans, aren't we? Birmingham City. We've had some pretty rough times, haven't we, over the last few years? And now we see signings like this that you would never ever have imagined that we would be able to in League One.
I'd have been happy with these in the Championship. Let alone the fact we're in a lower division and we're signing this calibre.
I'd be happy with him in the Premiership. I mean, Southampton would have been happy with him, but he does look a great player in terms of what we need right now in this club. And I hope we get some more physical size players. But with this guy in that attacking midfield position, it's going to give us that physical strength that we've lacked.
Do you think, question for you, Dad, final question, because I think I'm pretty much set now on in terms of the stats and stuff. Do you think this almost cements a 4-2-3-1 for Davis, and with Williamson in that number 10 in the centre attacking mid part of the pitch? Do you think that's what Davis has got in his mind now?
Well, I think the simple answer is yes. But I think that what we've seen so far, every player, apart from the two goalkeepers, obviously, that have come in, they're all very attack-minded players. I mean, you could argue that the goalkeepers, they're ball players as well, so they're going to be involved in the build-up play. So I think that there needs now to be a thought, well, okay, we've got lots of attacking players, but do we need now a defensive midfielder?
Yeah.
It's a question, I don't know.
Even more pressing than that is a couple of centre-halves,
I
think.
Yes. Yeah,
but you're right, we need a centre defensive. I think the next two priorities for the club, in my opinion, is two centre-backs and a centre defensive mid, if not more centre defensive mids as well. Maybe two of each. But to me, that should be where we focus our priorities now. Sorry, I did interrupt there. But so just going back to that 4-2-3-1. But I also think like we saw against Paderborn and against Solihull Moors, Davis is very intelligent the way he sets his team up, and we're going to see the players with different instructions. Like we saw Laird really high up the pitch in both games, and also coming into the middle. We saw people we were playing slightly different formations in possession and out of possession. So we're going to see adaptations to the formations anyway. But I think the way Davis is going to set us up as the core starting point, which is a very popular system at the moment, is that 4-2-3-1.
I think so as well. We saw it in Solihull against Solihull Moors, didn't we? Where we started off as a 4-2-3-1, but when we're in attack, one of the fullbacks
Very attacking.
will go into midfield. So obviously, what they're doing in training is working on what we do under attack and what we'll do in transition as well, particularly when we're out of possession. But it's all looking really good. I've got to be honest. I mean, I've been happy with all the signings so far, but for some reason, this one seems to me to be on a different level. Not that the other players aren't brilliant that we've got. I love them all the new players. But this is a player that I would have least expected to have got.
Yeah, I agree.
Being a League One club,
especially being linked to Southampton, a Premier League club.
Yeah, Emil Hansen's a similar one. Alfie May, Alfie May's used to playing in League One, but the fact that we got him as the Golden Boot winner last year as well, it's all very, very positive for the club, and I'm really pleased that we've got this guy. What do you think, Blues fans? What do you think about this signing? Let us know in the comments below. What I've seen on social media so far is very, very positive about what Blues are doing as a club, and this signing particularly is another piece of the jigsaw to get that team ready and developed to have a really positive League One campaign. Please let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Me and Matt are always happy to read your comments and to see what you think. As always, if you did like the video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't checked out our social media channels already, then go along to our X page and our Instagram page, and you'll see the handles appearing for those social media channels on the screen right now. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future content all about Birmingham City. And myself and Matt will see you on the next video.